Hey guys, welcome back. Orabomb here, bringing you another one of our live deck profiles. Today we're doing Pikachu. It's another one. It's probably going to be one of the strongest decks coming into the next format. So if I was going to wait to do this one, I didn't want to just go out on the gates with the best deck in format. But we're here now. We're finally here. Pikachu time. There's a lot of different things I want to try with this deck because this deck is very versatile. It's very toolboxy. There's so many different things you can add to it. But we'll talk about all the different changes we can make as we go through the video. But for now, don't forget to answer the comment question of the day for a chance to win some codes, which is going to be, what do you think is going to be the new BDIF? Because I have a strong feeling this one's going to be it. But let me know what you guys think is going to be the new best deck in format in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to drop a like. It's always greatly appreciated. Remember, enough likes means we get to pump out these videos even faster, which you guys have been getting daily uploads. You guys have been killing that like button, so continue to kill that like button. In fact, kill it harder. I'm raising the stakes. But anyways, let's go over the Pokemon here in Pikachu. Now, I have to remember to put all these things on screen. And also, I forgot to pull up the translations on my side, but that's fine. We're going to start with 3 Pikachu Zekroms. No glare, please. Thank you. A Pikachu Zekrom, beefy, tanky, delicious Pokemon, 240 HP. For 3 energies, it hits for 150. I guess the text is going to be on the left, but 150. And it can accelerate 3 energies from your deck to a Pokemon. So it has to be one Pokemon. You can't just spread it out to different Pokemon, including itself. So you can charge up your GX attack in the bottom here. Now it is an electric type, so it comes with all the benefits and the weaknesses of being an electric type. The benefits of being able to use things like Thunder Mountain, Electro Power, Tapu Koko Prism. There's a lot of benefits of being an electric type right now, which is why this deck is so powerful. The negatives is you have a heavy retreat and you're weak to fighting, which is never great. But overall, this card is very, very strong. As GX attack it's the main reason why we play this card. 200 damage, and if you have an extra 3 energies attached to this Pokemon, lightning energies of course, you can do 107 damage to one of your bench Pokemon. Now that obviously screams kill Lele, but you can kill any other, like you can knock out essentially 2 parts of an engine at the same time with this card. And with Thunder Mountain, you only need 5, and it's actually really easy to get this going right away. Not the GX attack, but the first attack. Like you can do this as early as turn 1. If you can manually attach 1 energy, discard another one and attach it using Tapu Koko Prism's ability and having Thunder Mountain down, that's 2 energies and you're able to use your first attack right away. And then the second attack, you can use your GX attack the following turn if you attach it yourself. Now, obviously, you're not going to be playing this down in every other matchup. There's a lot of decks that you don't want to have this down, and you don't want to have just a free 3 prizes for your opponents. Things that are like DCE focus, lots of Lele's, things like that, you don't really want to have this down for. Guardy, fighting decks in general, you want to avoid having this down. But there are some decks where this is going to take every prize in the game just by itself. It's so tanky, it's so bulky, and being able to take 2 prizes at once at minimum using your GX attack is really strong. And then everything else is kind of like support for the deck. There's also different engines. Now I will say that I'm playing 3. I think you only really need 2 in this deck. I think you should be playing a second Zapdos, which we are playing 1 Zapdos. We haven't profiled Zapdos Jolteon yet, or Zapdos, not Jolteon, because we're probably not gonna use a Jolteon. But we haven't done Zapdos Jirachi yet, which is going to be one of the few decks we have to upload still. But Zapdos is very, very strong. It's 100, and it's one of the only Pokemon in the game that can take like knockout turn 1 with only 1 energy. It's really easy to pull it off too. For 110 HP, you hit for 10 damage plus 70 more damage if you become active this turn, just like Gliscod, but it's a non-GX Pokemon. So you can knock out pretty much any basic starter Pokemon like Zorwas and Malamar or Inkays and stuff like that. With Electro Powers, you can reach even higher numbers, maybe even taking 1-hit KOs. It has a 2 retreat cost, which is kind of awkward, but we do play lots of Switch. We have Zeraora to give us free retreat, Guzmas. There's lots of ways to maximize damage output, and being able to just hit 80 on a GX turn 1, softening them up for cards like your Pikachu Zekrom or anything like that is really good. So if I were to play this deck again, I think I would take out one of these and make this a 2-2 line of this and the Zapdos as well. But for the time being, we're only playing one of them. We're going to play... Oop, I hit the mic, so I do apologize about that, guys. Ugh, you guys are going to hear that. Ugh, okay, forgive me. Tapu Koko Prism. We've already talked about this card multiple times, so I'm not going to reiterate too much, but it's very handy. Not only does it give you the multiple attachments you need, but it also means that some Pokemon have free retreat because of Zeraora, which we do play 2 of. Now, a lot of the time, Zeraora is actually going to be carrying you in a lot of games. We have one fake one, as you can see. But Zeraora, being able to hit 160, it actually does more damage than Zapdos, or whatever. It does more damage than Pikachu over there. So that's really handy in its own right. His GX attack is good in games where you know you're not going to be using this GX attack, just to accelerate energies on the board and kind of put your opponent in a lot of checkmate positions. And like, if you have 2 Zero Auras set up, then you just switch between the two and hit 160, 190 with choice bands, and then you can boost it up to even higher numbers with electro powers. So it's a very, very strong card. And once again, that free retreat. It is a GX Pokemon, so sometimes you're not going to want to have too many down, but lots of the time you're going to be soloing Zero Aura to take those big knockouts after you use your GX attack with Pikachu over there, if you don't need like that much monstrous HP. So there's that. We are playing, of course, one Tapu Koko GX. It wins a lot of these awkward matchups for you, i.e. Guardy. We're playing 2 Lele. But like I mentioned, being able to make yourself active and fight against these fighting decks is really good. You have Choice Band, you have Electro Powers, you even play a 1 of Aether in this deck, so it's easy to actually attack with Tapu Koko GX. And it doesn't have weakness to fighting like the rest of these cards do, so that's pretty handy. Although it is worth mentioning that Zapdos is actually resist fighting and is weak to electricity, I believe is what it is. Yeah, it's weak to electric, which is kind of weird, but whatever. I don't know why Pokemon does these things. But yeah, being able to have that Tapu Thunder GX attack to be able to punish Pokemon that over-attach energies, like Gardevoir, is really, really good as well. So having these strong GX attacks in this deck really does make this deck very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. That's it for the Pokemon. We're going to go over the items here real quick. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible because there's too many people in my house and they're all very loud. All very obnoxious, and I just hit the mic and I'm flustered. But it's fine. Of course, for Ultra Ball, we're not playing, obviously, Elm in this deck, so 3 Nest Ball. We could probably bump that up, but there's really no need to, honestly. 4 Electro Powers, and the one thing that makes this deck work as well as it does, the reason why we're not playing cards like Magnezone to set us up really quickly, or like, so I know there's been lists that play Silver Valley or Raikou, is because we have Energy Switch. Energy Switch is so good in this deck. It literally just lets you come out of nowhere with monstrous attackers. Because with Thunder Mountain down, most of your attackers only need 2 energies to attack in general. But getting 3 energies is not that hard because of Tapu Koko Prism and manual attachments, and the fact that usually your opponent's not taking a knockout every turn, and you have other tool cards that can help you as well, such as Wishful Baton. Now we are just going to jump ahead to the tools here, because we only play 1 Wishful Baton, which we usually attach to Pikachu, because if it gets knocked out, we can at least move 6 energies back, which is pretty handy sometimes. Not all the time, though. And we also play 1 Stretcher. I guess I probably should have used Stretcher first before I go over the tools. 2 Choice Bands, because it helps you hit numbers. And then we are playing 1 Aether Paradise, because as you saw, actually, you guys probably didn't see that game, but there's been multiple games. Aether Paradise can really help you a lot in these decks, because in order for them to OHKO a Pikachu, they have to hit you for 270, which is a lot of damage, 220 to knock out a Zero Aura, 210 or 200 to knock out a Tapu Koko, and this is all without weakness with the Tapu Koko. This can literally save you in a lot of games, stopping you from being knocked out by weakness, or just stopping you from being knocked out in general. So this is a great one to have in the deck, and of course, what's a Thunder deck without Thunder Mountain Prism Star? Of course, it's got the Prism Star text that says that you can't be removed by things that are not stadiums or attacks. And reducing your attack cost by 1 is great, because a lot of the times if you have this opening hand, you can actually attack with Zapdos for free by attaching an energy, manually attaching an energy to a Pokemon that's active, having Zero Aura on your bench, switching that active Pokemon to your Zapdos and just attacking for free because of your Thunder Mountain. So obviously, this card is super duper good. It's borderline busted in these electric decks. Like, it's insane how good this card is. So definitely pick them up before they become expensive, by the way, guys. It's a fair warning. I'm going to put these over here to this side so I don't bump my mic again. Hopefully I can remember to cut out that little issue. But let's talk about the draw spores. Now, the draw spores are really weird, and this is a kind of a common trend in Japan, but our draw spores in this deck are 4 Lilies and 3 Ericas, no Cynthias. And I was really questioning the fact that they're not playing any Cynthias in this deck, but the more I played, the more I realized that it's not about shuffle draw in this deck. You kind of just want to raw draw all the time. Your deck is thinned out of electric energies if you are attacking with Pikachu. You have a lot of search in this deck, and you're not usually playing Cynthia to find stuff. You're usually playing Volkner to find the items that you need, and then Erica and Lily are just there as like hand buffers. A lot of times you want to hold on to your pieces too. You want to hold on to your electro powers. You want to hold on to your energy switches. So you're not looking to shuffle those back in. You're looking to add on to your hand, which is the main reason why we don't play any shuffle draw in this deck, because those item cards are so important for having those swing turns that there's no reason for us to lose them. We're playing 4 Guzma, helps with Zapdos, helps with overall just taking the big knockouts that we need to take out. We're playing 3 Volkner, because like I mentioned earlier, Volkner is usually your go-to supporter. Getting an energy out of the deck is very, very strong. Getting an item that you need, like the energy switch, like the electro powers, and even like early game nest balls and stuff to set up your board, maybe even get Tapu Koko Prism, Ultra Ball to thin your hand down so you can draw more off Lily next turn, or just to get another Pokemon, get energies in the discard pile. There's a lot of reasons. Whew, that was a mouthful. There's a lot of reasons to play Volkner. So that's why you play 3 of them. I am looking to play a 4th. Cuts have to be made. I definitely want to rework this deck and give you guys a TCGO video whenever this comes out, or maybe even have a different matchup versus this deck later down the line, because I just realized that it's, for me, I'm recording this on the 7th. You guys are probably going to see this on the 13th, maybe probably closer. 2 days from now, 3 days from now. Yeah, probably on the 10th is when you guys are seeing this video. And like, we have a whole 20 days before like the next set actually comes out afterwards. And we don't have that many deck lists to play, so we might just do some rematches. We'll have to see. Let me know what you guys want to see specific matches of in the future in the comments down below. Then we have some other tech supporters. Of course, we play a 1 of Acerola because we have some fat, juicy HP Pokemons in this deck that we want to heal, aka our tag teams. 1 Judge because hand disruption is always nice. And then 1 Lucia, the bread and butter of this deck, actually. Lucia is so important in this deck. Being able to get your Tapu Koko Prism and your Thunder Mountain is the equivalent of saying, hey, you're going to attack with this Pokemon this turn. No matter what Pokemon you're choosing, you're going to attack with it. Because you're essentially if you have energies in your discard pile, you're essentially reducing the attack cost by 2 by using Thunder Mountains to reduce it by 1 and then using Tapu Koko Prism to attach. So it's kind of crazy. It's very, very, very good in this deck, and it's definitely not worth cutting by any means. In fact, it kind of makes you want to play even more Prism cards in this deck. We don't really have any worth playing in this deck right now, but in the future, I'm definitely going to look into playing different ones because it's such a strong card. It's such a strong card. And then for the energy line, we want to make sure we have enough to search throughout the game. So we are playing a hefty 12 draw supporters. 12 is enough for us to draw into them, as well as enough for us to use Pikachu's attack a couple times. I'm trying to avoid this side of the board because there's a lot of glare there. So I'm sorry things are uneven. It is what it is. But we are playing 12 lightning energies. You guys don't have to see that for too long because my OCD is starting to kick in. But that's going to be the deck list, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I'm actually really excited to continue playing this. This one and Zapdos Jirachi are the 2 decks I think I want to profile. I want to like really, really look into because those are probably going to be some of the best decks in format. Zapdos Jirachi, I don't know what I'm going to match it up against. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I don't want to match it up against Venusaur because I feel like you just lose that matchup. But maybe you don't, right? I don't know. We'll have to see. I have a couple matchups in mind. I think Zapdos Jirachi is going to be a little bit further down the line, but I'm actually really excited to test it for you guys. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe, share, all that good jazz. How long has this video been? Been long enough, right? I try to keep these videos under 15 minutes, but we did. That's good. As far as like what this deck is good against, it's good against a lot of the format. It's weak against Buzzwole, but Buzzwole actually gets kind of worse as time goes by. Like Malamar gets stronger. A lot of non-GX decks get stronger. So that's pretty handy for this deck. Blacephalon is kind of 50-50 because you kind of, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you can beat Blacephalon with this deck because you knock out a Naganadel and a Blacephalon at the same time if you can set this up. The problem with setting this up is that Blacephalon can really blow up, no pun intended, on you out of nowhere. So that's a problem. But Blacephalon is kind of like in a weird place post-format. There's a lot stronger non-GX decks, but at the same time it hits really strong matchups because it can OHKO these tag team Pokemon. What else? There's not really any relevant water. I don't know. I'm going too deep into this. I'm going to make like a video in the future discussing all these decks and like their bad matchups and good matchups and stuff. Probably close to the end of the month before this actually drops. So let me know if you guys are excited for that. I'm going to see you guys next time. Peace.